the way I'm looking at it, I think your evolution and the data and analytics evolution has quite literally gone hand in hand. And I definitely want to touch upon or double click on something that you talked about, which is one of the latest developments or the most talked developments in this space, which is SAP Business Data Cloud.
So it's a quite good journey for us where we have implemented that project for them. And apart from that, recently SAP has launched Business Data Cloud, which is another evolution of the BW system, the ETL, and also the reporting, as well as the planning within SAP Analytics Cloud. And they had a good partnership with Databricks, which brought in the AI and ML scenarios and also the cataloging functionalities to have the business user having the self-service capabilities, which is predominantly the greatest thing. When they launched this tool in the market, it created a lot of buzz and it is a game changer.
Welcome to Discover Dialogues podcast, powered by TechDogs. The world of business and technology is evolving at breakneck speed. AI breakthroughs, digital transformation, and game-changing innovations are reshaping industries every day. On this show, we dive into the trends, ideas, and strategies driving the future. We're sitting down with industry leaders, innovators, and disruptors to bring you fresh insights, bold perspectives, and real conversations that matter. So plug in, tune in, and let's discover what's next.
Today on the show, we're joined by Lakshman Arthimalla, Director, Data and Analytics at YASH Technologies. Lakshman brings over 2 decades of experience helping enterprises transform how they see, use, and trust data. From leading complex SAP Business Data Cloud implementations to advising global clients on their modernization journeys, Lakshman has been at the forefront of bridging governance, AI, and decision intelligence. His perspective on how organizations can turn structured data into strategic advantage is both practical and forward-looking. Let's dive in.
Welcome to another episode of TechDogs Discover Dialogues. Lakshman, it's a pleasure to have you on the show today.
Yeah, same with me, Vikram. Nice connecting you back.
Fantastic. So Lakshman, let's start at the beginning. Before we get to technology, I think it's very powerful for our audiences to know the person behind the role. And you've had, an illustrious career in data and analytics. Can you walk us through your professional journey and what's your area of focus at YASH Technologies today?
Certainly, yes, Vikram. Thanks for giving me that opportunity to uh, explain about my career and what I have been doing in the past 2 decades in the SAP BI and analytics space. And it's a quite good journey for me, and a lot of things I have learned over the period of time. And I started as a trainee in the BW, and then I moved up the ladder. Now I'm heading the practice of data and analytics. And within this 20 years, I have worked with multiple customers across the globe, and we have implemented multiple BI solutions where I was part of understanding the SAP transactional system and how that data can be brought into the BI for generating the reports. Okay, so within this course of time, I got to learn about business objects, which is another reporting tool on top of the BW. Again, it is the SAP product. Okay, earlier it was a standalone product which SAP has acquired, and I started working on that version. And eventually, when SAP has launched the HANA database, that's when the paradigm was shifted because most of the traditional databases are two-dimensional and also row-based, wherein this HANA database is a columnar storage, and which is also meant for rendering the data very fast and all that. So that's when I started going into the database level, which I have not worked in the past, right? And After that, SAP came up with multiple products, and everybody across the industry,
Hmm.
they were into the cloud-based solutions.
Hmm.
That's when SAP has launched Business Objects Cloud, which is
Hmm.
a first version of the BOBJ
Hmm.
evolution.
Hmm.
And eventually that was renamed as SAP Analytics Cloud now.
Hmm.
And I started the first project within YASH, and we helped customers understanding their pains, and they are connecting to their um, transactional systems and connecting to how do we extract
Hmm.
on-premises data to the cloud world, right?
Hmm. Hmm.
So we need to see all that connectors and making sure on the firewall, the network, and all that.
Hmm.
So it's a quite good journey for us where we have implemented that project for them.
You know.
And apart from that, recently, SAP has launched, which is a business data cloud,
Hmm.
which is another evolution of
Hmm.
the BW system, and also the ETL, and also the reporting,
Hmm.
as well as the planning within SAP Analytics Cloud. And they had a good partnership with Databricks, which brought
Hmm.
in the AI and ML scenarios, and also
Hmm.
the cataloging functionalities to have the business user having the self-service capabilities.
Got it.
So, which
Got
is
it.
predominantly the greatest and um, great thing. When they launched this tool in the market, it created a lot of buzz, and it is a
Right.
game changer.
The way I'm looking at it, I think your evolution and the data and analytics evolution has quite literally gone hand in hand.
Yeah,
And
yep.
I definitely want to touch upon or double click on something that you talked about, which is one of the latest developments or the most talked developments in this
Hmm.
space, which is SAP Business Data Cloud, fondly called as
Yeah.
BDC. Like you said, it's considered to be the next evolution in enterprise data strategy. Uh,
Hmm.
and obviously, it's considered to be pivotal as well.
Yep.
And before we kind of talk about why it matters for the enterprises today, uh,
Hmm.
I would love to understand, or would love for you to explain what BDC is and how is it different from, say, maybe traditional warehouses or data lakes.
So what I can say is like why SAP has announced this product as a business data cloud is because they do have ETL solutions, which are traditional data warehouses, just like BW, and we also have business objects data services, okay, which
Hmm.
is also an again ETL tool, which they have acquired from Essential.
Hmm.
Okay. And it was serving the purposes like how to extract non-SAP data and bringing it into SAP world, or
Hmm.
any other data warehouses or SQL databases or SQL data warehouse,
Hmm.
and also eventually to the data lakes. Okay,
Hmm.
so but these tools have independent in nature, and they
Hmm.
were siloedly working and serving the purposes. Okay,
Hmm.
with Business Data Cloud, what it brings to the table is like it's a suite which is a
Hmm.
combination of
Interesting.
BW, public private cloud,
Hmm.
and also the public cloud. Okay,
Hmm.
and that is one aspect of it. The second aspect is like SAP already has another data warehousing solution, which is called as a data sphere.
Hmm.
Okay, so that is also brought into this business data cloud.
Hmm.
And for the planning and reporting,
Hmm.
SAP has a specific tool which is called as a SAC,
Hmm.
SAP Analytics Cloud. Okay,
Hmm.
which was again brought into this business data
Nice.
cloud. These tools exist
Hmm.
independently, and they
Hmm.
are called as enterprise editions
Hmm.
in such. Whereas with the partnership of Databricks,
Hmm.
which brought in the edge. for all these organizations who are utilizing these tools independently. They might be working with some data warehouses, some
Right.
data lakes. So, and extracting their ERP data into the traditional data lakes or data warehouses.
Right.
Okay, which is missing the context of what this SAP has defined in the last 30, 40 years, what they have been doing in the ERP space.
Got it.
Okay. So it has a lot of linkages when you talk about how the sales order is created. So what it looks for, and how the customer is related, and how the material is related. And within the customer, we also have separate sales organizations because the customer might be residing in multiple geographies,
Correct.
right?
Absolutely. Yeah.
And they might buy a product in
Hmm.
one region and
Hmm.
they sell it to the another region,
Hmm.
and that is called as a ship to party. And
Hmm.
we always make the payments from a group company.
Hmm.
Okay, so which is called as a bill to party. So
Hmm.
these kind of context,
Hmm.
when you are extracting it,
Hmm.
some or the other are missing when
Hmm.
you are taking the data
Right.
independently from the database tables.
Right.
But this business logic is missing. That
Hmm.
is when Business Data Cloud brings that semantics and
Hmm.
also the business context when
Nice.
you are bringing the data for the reporting purposes.
Got it.
So that's what the biggest advantage, what I can say, with
Hmm.
BDC is offering. It
Hmm.
comes with that foundational services and
Hmm.
also the business fabric
Hmm.
framework, which
Hmm.
is predominantly you have all this data products, which is
Hmm.
nothing but a CDS view,
Hmm.
which is built on multiple tables of
Hmm.
the ERP data,
Got it.
and they are stitched together
Hmm.
as a data product package. And
Hmm.
that data package is going to be installed with the foundation layer,
Nice.
and it brings the data real time, and
Hmm.
you can access all this information in SAP Analytics Cloud as
Nice.
a intelligent
Hmm.
application.
Hmm.
Okay, and you will get straight away the dashboards up
Hmm.
and running
Hmm.
uh, once
Interesting.
you install this data foundation layer, what I would say.
Got it. Got it. Got
Okay,
it.
this was the biggest advantage, and it
Hmm.
combines multiple tools together
Nice.
as a suite.
It's something that you mentioned. You call it, I think you call it business fabric or intelligence fabric. I remember when we were speaking earlier, you also talked about how SAP's BDC is an intelligence fabric as well. I want you to kind of talk to me a little bit more about that for our audiences.
As I mentioned, that is a framework.
Hmm.
So when you look at the framework, what it does is like it has the business semantics and the
Hmm.
metadata and the context-wise information
Hmm.
available, and which comes when you are installing the data foundation and activating the data foundation
Hmm.
layer will bring all these components together,
Hmm.
and uh, we don't require much of the ETL developer who
Hmm.
is going to do all this tedious work,
Hmm.
right?
Hmm. Hmm.
So identifying the tables and then building the relationships,
Hmm.
and making sure like the information is passed to the audience who
Hmm.
are viewing the reports at
Hmm.
multiple levels of the organization. Okay,
Hmm.
right?
Hmm.
So when you look at the strategical, what I would say, strategical reporting or the
Hmm.
strategical roadmap,
Hmm.
right? So those people will get strategical information,
Got it.
and the managerial people will get the managerial level of information,
Got it.
and the tactical people who are on the shop floor,
Okay.
they will get their own reports.
Got it.
So all this together is linked so that you don't have to worry and bring in only one piece of information which is required for the management reporting.
Right.
So it covers the entire gamut of the organization. It serves the purposes of CFO's office, HR office, and the manufacturing offices,
Got
etc.,
it.
or
Got
the
it.
supply chain, whatever you can,
Got,
logistics
got it.
and all that.
Lakshman, so I think one of the challenges we often hear, especially in industries like healthcare and finance, is that compliance slows down everything. It's often seen as a roadblock than a driver. Um,
Yeah.
from your experience, how does BDC change that narrative? And also, I think the broader question here is how can governance move from being a checkpoint to actually becoming an enabler of innovation?
Yeah, interesting question, Vikram. And more or less, the Business Data Cloud, before version, we also have a data sphere, as I mentioned,
Yes,
right?
agree.
So it comes with a Unity catalog
Hmm,
and the data governance, the
hmm,
security, and the data lineage. Okay,
hmm,
so that we will not be taking any risk
hmm,
uh, to make sure data is leaked into the public so
hmm,
that whatever the private and confidential information which is
hmm,
required to be maintained and along with the industry specific standards when you look at the SOX compliance or the
hmm.
HIPAA compliances
Right.
and all finance organizations they will have their SOX compliances and
Hmm,
similar way for all the healthcare they will maintain this HIPAA okay
hmm.
compliances
Right.
so which is at par at the industry and SAP
Hmm.
always delivers good things to make sure like your data is secure and
Right.
all specific information which is a personal
Hmm.
identification information you can mask them and make
Mhm.
sure it is not leaked and whoever even though if it goes out
Hmm.
you have the masking capacity so
Hmm.
that the information is secured and having the realistic governance which is in place
Hmm.
and with the another thing what I would like to add here is like it comes with a data access control. Okay, whatever
Okay.
the information needs to be seen for
Hmm.
the management level at the top
Hmm.
level. Okay,
Hmm.
so we will maintain this that specific roles so
Hmm.
that these are the reports which are going to be accessed by this set of people,
Hmm.
and you will not be taking any kind of a risk here.
Hmm.
Okay,
Hmm.
making sure you see what the information is relevant for that role is required. So that's
And
how the all the governance and cataloging lineage and the workspaces, what
mhm.
we call it, which is going to enable the self-service reporting for the management. Not only for the top management,
Hmm.
mid-level and the lower level managements too.
Got it. I want to definitely talk about, I think every business will have, different governance frameworks, or every industry will have, specific regulations. And I'm sure
Mm-hmm.
at Yash, you guys are probably addressing it differently or approaching it differently. Or how do you guys do it?
Yeah, typically we have our own process and standards which we have set up
Hmm.
whenever we are implementing any projects with any customer. We make sure like our policies and standards are taken into consideration,
Hmm.
and on top of that, every customer has their own specific
Hmm.
processes and standards.
Hmm.
Okay, so we need to cross-check whether our processes and standards, which Ash is maintaining,
Hmm.
is appropriate for them or not. Okay,
Hmm.
if not, we have to take whatever the customer is actually having that specific compliances. So
Hmm.
we make sure and we follow their principles and the
Hmm.
standards at the first place.
Hmm.
And if they are not having anything,
Hmm.
then we will come up with our recommendations
Got it.
and we will take their specific approvals
Hmm.
to kick off and take it ahead with the implementation standards.
But Lashman, I'm just thinking aloud here, right?
Mhm.
I think a lot of enterprises just don't run SAP.
Yes.
I'm sure, I mean, they're probably using Salesforce or maybe Workday, and I'm sure there are a dozen other platforms out there.
True.
And I think all of them coming together is going to slow down decision making, because data is scattered, and in many ways, I feel that is the reality, and also the complexity. Actually, um, how do you think? Yeah, I mean, I would love to understand how does SAP BDC approach and resolve this?
Vikram, it's an interesting question, and I definitely agree. Not all organizations will only use SAP,
Hmm.
right? So for their shop floor, they might be having a different software.
Right.
Okay. So likewise, MES systems, they have their own ways of getting there at. Okay. And you also have CAD,
Hmm.
etc. Okay.
Right.
And for supply chain, you will have something else. Okay.
Hmm.
And for the logistics, you'll be having separate things. And your IoT data comes in when you are when you are tracking the real-time information, right?
Right.
From the chips
Hmm.
or devices which are carrying that. With all that said,
Hmm.
they will be having their own databases. Okay.
Hmm.
What SAP BDC will offer is you can keep the data there itself. We don't have
Okay.
to move the data into the data mm, lake or
Hmm.
data warehouse. What
Hmm.
we can do is like we can connect that database
Hmm.
remotely
Hmm.
and access that information with the help of the replication flows or remote access of the data
Hmm.
uh, f- from the existing databases.
Right.
And we combine that with SAP data so that
Mhm.
you have both SAP data and non-SAP data combined together
Right.
for making the decisions. Okay.
Hmm.
So, and another thing, what I can also say here is like, until and unless you have the realistic data,
Hmm.
right?
Hmm.
Your your predictions forecasting,
Hmm.
okay, and all that agents which you wanted to deploy with respect to artificial intelligence, right?
Hmm.
So that becomes a challenging. So
Hmm.
once you have the context-wise data, which is coming
Hmm.
from SAP
Hmm.
and non-SAP data, and
Hmm.
both of them are sometimes those both are structured data,
Yeah.
sometimes unstructured
Structured.
data will also
Absolutely.
be there,
Absolutely.
right?
Absolutely.
So what SAP BDC offer is like you can bring in structured data,
Hmm.
unstructured data, and
Hmm.
combine both together
Hmm.
and leverage data breaks for doing any kind of a AI ML scenarios
Oh,
with the
nice.
help of Spark,
Hmm.
Apache Spark, and
Hmm.
Python for the use cases,
Hmm.
and identify uh, where my sales are getting down, right?
Hmm. Hmm.
So, what is the reason behind it?
Hmm.
And whenever you are procuring raw materials, the existing tariffs are having
Hmm.
an impact.
Right.
Right now, the tariffs are becoming much complex because
Hmm.
of the trade acts which is
Hmm.
happening between the countries, right?
Absolutely.
So
Yeah.
we need to see all that. So
Hmm.
for that use case, what we can do is like we can gather all this material information, what is that we have purchased in the past, and
Hmm.
we can leverage AI on top of
Hmm.
it so that you
Hmm.
can predict that scenarios and
Hmm.
see what is the optimistic solution we will get it,
Hmm.
what is the pessimistic solution, and what is
Hmm.
the realistic.
Hmm.
Okay,
Hmm.
so you get all these kind of a trends, which you can
Hmm.
make sure like you are getting all the information at your fingertips to
Hmm.
take the right decisions. And the insights are awesome.
In specific to something like Insights app, which is spoken about a lot as well. How does that play a role?
As I mentioned earlier, the business fabric
Hmm.
architecture or the intelligent applications, right?
Hmm.
So intelligent application is the end goal where the
Hmm.
business will be actually reviewing that information, what is
Hmm.
happening on the ground in
Hmm.
the system,
Hmm.
and how the data is transformed all the way for the reporting purposes.
Hmm.
And the management is going to look at that information realistically.
Right.
Okay, so with this intelligent applications, what you will do is like with as I mentioned, the
Hmm.
business foundation earlier,
Hmm.
right? So once you activate it, so
Hmm.
it takes the data from your ERP system,
Hmm.
and we have data products which are
Hmm.
SAP provided,
Hmm.
and all the data flows and the data pipelines are
Hmm.
managed by SAP,
Got it.
and the relevant structures are also defined by SAP,
Okay.
which you activate it. On top of that, you have this intelligent application, which
Hmm.
is one
Hmm.
click, you will get all that information realistic from top to bottom,
Oh, nice.
right? So
Nice.
that's how the power of this intelligent
Hmm.
apps will help the decision makers to take
Got
their
it.
decisions on a real time basis.
Got it. Lakshman, I think it now kind of makes sense to kind of talk about, maybe perhaps real world situations there where this could be applied, right? Because I think obviously we talked about and it almost theoretical in nature. Can you break it down into some real world scenarios? Maybe examples you've seen, and it could be finance, supply chain, or HR. For our audiences, it will become much easier.
As I was mentioning, like this intelligent application, right?
Hmm.
So right now we are having a intelligent application which is called as a working capital
Hmm.
inside app.
Hmm.
So which will help you to identify what are your day sales outstandings,
Hmm.
what are your day payable outstandings.
Hmm.
Okay.
Hmm.
One
Hmm.
is like to the suppliers, what is that you are supposed to pay,
Hmm.
and what kind of aging you are having it.
Hmm.
Okay. So on say for example, within 30 days, how much we
Hmm.
need to pay. Okay.
Right.
Within 60 days, how much we need to pay.
Right.
Okay. Etc. So
Hmm.
similar way, from the customer's perspective,
Okay.
we will also have like what is the realistic revenue which we were supposed to get at. Okay,
Nice.
so
Hmm.
in most of the business scenarios, transactions, how they happen is like we will have net 30 or net 45 or net
Yes.
60 days.
Right.
Okay,
Right.
so once you invoice them, they
Hmm.
will take within that 30 days or 60, 45 days
Right.
or 60 days. Based
Right.
on that, they will provide the payments,
Got
right?
it. Got it.
So you will get to know what is that which is going to be coming as a revenue for you,
Right.
and what is
Right.
that you are going to pay for your
Hmm.
suppliers. Okay,
Right.
so that you will understand what is your cash flow,
Right. Got it.
right?
Got it.
So you will understand the cash flow.
Hmm.
And finally, with this cash flow, what you can see is like your P&L statement.
Hmm. Right.
All
Got
right.
it. Got it.
So how much are the operating cost you are
Hmm.
utilizing for
Right.
making the products which you are selling in the market, right?
Right.
So what are the raw materials which are required, and how
Yeah.
you are storing them, where
Yeah.
exactly you are storing them,
Hmm.
and what is happening at the ground level,
Hmm.
where the manufacturing process is going to happen.
Hmm. Hmm.
So are we making any rework? Are
Hmm.
there any scrap?
Hmm.
Okay, so that you get all this information realistically with
Right.
this working capital insight app.
And if
Yeah.
you were to kind of, I don't know, just randomly take HR as function as an example, how would that be looked at?
Yes. So when you look at the HR perspective, right?
Hmm.
So what typically happens? What's the role of the HR office,
Hmm.
right? They take care of how many manpower is required for the
Right.
organization. So once you start looking at that level,
Hmm.
you will look for the recruiting. Okay,
Correct.
what is the recruitment process happening? Okay,
Right.
so somebody has to go and find the resource from the market. You need to
Hmm.
post a job. Okay.
Right.
So from the posting of job
Hmm.
to the job which is open or
Hmm.
vacant in your
Hmm.
organization, you
Hmm.
need to map that. Based on that,
Hmm.
you will post the
Right. Absolutely. Yeah.
requirements into the market. And after the interview process has happened, so it is like hiring, how do
Hmm.
you hire it, and
Hmm.
all the way to the retirement. Okay, all that process is covered within this HR aspects. So wherein we do have SAP specific product which is called as a success factors.
Hmm.
So where it
Interesting.
has independent modules within the success factor. When
Hmm.
you look at the employee central, so it is basically maintaining all the employee
Hmm.
personal information, where
Hmm.
they are located, and all
Hmm.
that. On top of that, you also have specific compensation programs
Hmm.
which you will be providing to the employees who are
Absolutely.
at the management level. Okay,
Yes.
you will give some benefits,
Correct.
right?
Yes,
And
definitely.
you will also have the leaves and etc.
Correct.
Right? So all this information is captured in multiple levels within the
Hmm.
success factor.
Yeah.
On top of that, you also have performance management. Okay, so
Absolutely.
whether you do the performance management half year or a full year.
Hmm.
Okay,
Hmm. Hmm.
and
Hmm.
what is the probation period?
Right.
Okay, so you will cover all these aspects, and when we extract this data, so similar way, however, this working capital app, we will
Hmm.
be having HR hire to retire
Got it. Got it.
functionality, and it
Fantastic.
covers all this aspects of HR. What
Hmm.
we are offer for this BDC
Hmm.
journey
Hmm.
is like we
Hmm.
are doing a free assessment.
Hmm.
We are doing the discovery sessions,
Hmm.
wherein we enable the customers
Hmm.
to understand and learn about this product,
Right.
and we are also offering free assessments so
Right.
that it covers like a at the end of the story, and you can
Right.
also patch in between here,
Right.
stating like we do have a separate practices which is going to be on the success factors, as
Right.
I mentioned, right?
Yes.
So, and similar way, the ERP systems, which is
Right.
SAP practice,
Right.
and data and analytics practice, where we
Right.
do assessments,
Right.
advisory services, as many organizations are trying to do their modernization journey.
Hmm.
Okay. So what Ash is going to offer for the customers who are already having BW systems,
Hmm.
we provide a free assessment so that
Hmm.
you will understand how you can bring in the 25 years of journey of um, the data warehousing
Hmm.
information which was brought in, which you are
Hmm.
utilizing for your reporting right now,
Hmm.
how you can add that into AI ML scenarios and
Hmm.
make sure utilize the AI
Hmm.
on top of your data so that
Hmm.
you can take a corrective data actions.
Hmm.
So at Edge, we do this kind of a advisory service, and
Yeah.
also we do educational service, and make sure like we provide right information to go along with the strategy of how your business is envisioning.
So Lakshman, one of the things that came to my mind while we are having this conversation is that I'm sure you meet a lot of clients today,
Mhm.
and a lot of them are perhaps at the start of their modernization journey. They're trying to modernize their data systems, and I'm sure they're looking for guidance and insights. What is it that you would recommend to them? What's that piece of advice would you would give to them?
Yes, Vikram. So, see, we have been seeing this one in the market,
Yeah.
how the people are, how the organizations are trying to get into the journey of AI.
Hmm.
Okay. So, where AI becomes the major footprint
Hmm.
going forward for
Hmm.
the next 10 years. Yet, as we do typically many services, out of which one we are going to have is the advisory service
Hmm.
and the strategical road mapping. Okay,
Hmm.
so within that exercise, we do educational session, which
Hmm.
is like bringing up to the speed what is the technology and how the trends are
Hmm.
going in.
Hmm.
Okay, with respect to the modernization journey.
Hmm.
Okay, majority of the people or the organizations, they are trying to get onto the cloud.
Hmm.
Okay, and leverage um the cloud-based solutions and
Correct.
reducing their infrastructure
Hmm.
and also the assets which they are maintaining in
Hmm.
their local environment. So we typically do at Edge, what we do is like we do the advisory service. We
Right.
will bring them up to the speed and understanding this is the return on investment you will get it if you go to the cloud-based solution.
Hmm.
And on top of that, we are also going to advise on the strategical roadmap
Hmm.
how the trends are going with respect to the AI is concerned.
Hmm.
So,
Hmm.
how you can utilize your data
Hmm.
and take the right decisions. Until and unless you have the right data,
Hmm.
your AI is not going to work,
Right.
right?
Absolutely.
So
Absolutely.
you need to get your data up to the level where it can understand, read through the history, and generate machine learning algorithms based
Hmm.
on what information you bring it.
Hmm.
So at Ash, what we do is like we do the advisory service, educational service, make
Hmm.
sure the right information is shared with the
Shared with.
organization,
Yeah. Yeah.
and then uh, we also give the advisory service. After that, we also do the implementation.
Got it.
And eventually, down the road, after the implementation, we are there to support their systems too.
The way I'm looking at it at Yash, you guys are approaching it not from an implementation partner perspective, but more so as an enabler of adoption.
Yep.
And I think that's a very novel approach to take, because I think almost everybody out there looks at SAP implementation partners, but here you are, where you guys are saying that, let's try and see how we can be an enabler for you guys. We've covered how BDC is transforming the way organizations are handling data. And I think one of the key insights was that it can undertake everything from governance to real-time insights, for
Hmm.
across the management strata or organization strata. Uh, but I'm also assuming, that there's a lot of change that this is going to bring, and I think that change is more towards a new kind of leadership mindset, uh, and I want to
Hmm.
kind of talk about that a little now, because um I think it must take something to lead a data driven organization today. So if you had to kind of give a piece of advice to leaders across or executives across who want to build a data driven organization, uh, what would it be?
Yes, Vikram. See, typically, right now, what I'm seeing is like even though organizations have multiple people in and around
Hmm.
IT, right? And also from the business side of it. So
Hmm.
eventually, what we enable them is like how you have to approach in your organization
Hmm.
how the changes were happening or how the market trend is happening. So
Hmm.
we will be providing that kind of information so that it can be adaptable by the
Hmm.
organizations,
Hmm.
how this change can impact within the organization, right?
Hmm.
So we come with a specific services, which
Hmm.
is predominantly we call it as operational change management services,
Interesting.
right?
Hmm.
So with that service, what we enable the most of the IT directors
Hmm.
or the chief technology officer or
Hmm.
the chief transformation officers,
Hmm.
as well as the VP of IT and CIOs. So
Right.
what I can say is like we give the educational at the
Right.
first level and make
Right.
sure they understands it, what is happening,
Hmm.
and with respect to the uh, landscape what they are having.
Hmm.
So it requires a lot of inputs, which is going to take them ahead in
Hmm.
terms of their strategical vision. Okay,
Right.
so some people say like we have invested a lot of money
Hmm.
in the existing data warehouse.
Right.
Okay, that is one aspect. We
Hmm.
have invested a lot of money in the data lake. Still,
Hmm.
we are not able to utilize
Hmm.
our data. We
Hmm.
can't make a right decision.
Hmm.
Okay, so we have been doing this transformation journey from the past 5 years.
Hmm.
Why that is not happening? right? So you need to understand that. So how when you are extracting the data silos and combining it without having the knowledge of the or the information, uh, people who are at the engineering level, they can technically do what is required, but functionally we need to understand how the business process is happening.
Right.
So you need to stitch that to the technology so that you can bring in the right information to the end user where they can consume it and take the right decisions. So what we can say is like we will do this journey, educating majority of the thought leaders so that they can pass this information down the levels and make sure like they do the right thing in their organization to make sure it is successfully implemented for their data and analytics journey. It's basically like people say like pessimistic or prescriptive, proactive, and reactive. Okay, so what we can say is like the information which is already done, once the information is coming out, right? So that is prescriptive information, which has happened in the past. So you
Right.
need to make some predictions on top of it.
Right.
So until and unless you have that information, you can't take a realistic decision how that is going to tell you the predictions
Got
in
it.
a right manner.
And how does culture play a role in all of this?
Yeah, what I can say, Vikram, here, like tools can bring in the information at a place,
Right.
right? And the culture of or the attitude of getting that information, pass it to the right people. So we need to make sure like the culture is important to foster the abilities of generating the data and analytics to the right people in the right hands at the right time.
And I think we're almost at the end of our session. But before we wrap up, I want to cover a couple of things. I want to kind of
Okay.
step back from technology a little, and we've spoken
Okay.
quite a bit about it. What's that one leadership principle you personally live by, you think rather, a lot of executives should embrace in today's business environment?
See, you lead by an example, right? So that is how I have been doing this from the 2 decades. That made me to sit here and talk in front of you so that my team, whoever has under me, okay, they learned a lot. And by learning from their side, which made me to take the next steps, right?
Got it.
So I gave the mentor. I acted as a mentor and gave the enough information so that they can foster in their career, and that made me to step up the ladder and make
Nice.
sure I deliver good things for them.
So, Lakshman, fantastic. I think we've covered some powerful ideas around leadership, obviously data, SAP, BDC. And before we wrap up, I want to switch to something lighter. I'd love for our listeners to get to know the person behind the title, what you do at Yash today. What I have next for you is a quick rapid fire round. I don't want you to think. I just want you to be quick and instinctive. I'm going to put you in the spot here a little. Let me know when you're
Okay.
ready and I'll just go for it.
Okay. Sure.
Coffee or chai? What fuels your workday?
Coffee in the morning always brings you up to the speed, and in
Okay.
between, I prefer tea.
If you weren't in data and analytics, what
Okay.
career path would you have chosen?
Definitely, I would go for agriculture.
Nice. One book, podcast, or a movie that inspired, you as a leader.
Rich Dad and Poor Dad.
The book. Oh, nice. It's a fantastic book. I've read it myself. And every time you read it, and I think in every
Yeah,
phase of your life you read it, it just gives you different perspectives.
different perspectives. Yeah.
Right. What's that one piece of tech that you can't live without?
Mobile.
A city you would love to live and work for in a year.
San Francisco.
Oh, nice. Okay, right. The next one. What's your go-to way to unwind after a busy work week?
Go to your farmhouse, relax, enjoy, be with the nature.
What's that one skill you think everyone in tech should learn today?
Relaxing and reading, I
Okay.
would say.
Reading, I guess, absolutely. I think a lot is changing in the world, and you have to keep yourself updated continuously by reading up on things.
Right.
What do you trust more, instinct or insight?
Insight.
That, I mean, I think it falls to right. You're a data analytics guy, so very natural for you.
Yeah.
One last thing before we let you go. What's your favorite part uh, of your role right now at Yash?
Like advisory and pre-sales and providing the solutions.
All right, Lakshman. That brings us to the end of today's episode of TechDogs Discover Dialogues. A big thank you, to you for joining us today. I'm sure a lot of insights that you have shared with us and our audiences will go a long way in helping them build, data-driven, insight-ready organizations, and also perhaps leverage SAP BDC to the fullest advantage, like you've spoken about. Thank you once again. Any parting thoughts?
Yes, definitely. The weekend is coming. We need to have a good party uh, to
Absolutely, absolutely,
relax,
absolutely.
remove all the fatigue of the week.
All right. Thank you, Lakshman. Once again, really appreciate this.
Awesome.
All right,
Thanks,
thank you.
Vikram. Appreciate your time. And I look forward utilizing BDC and implementing them, which is good for their organizations, I would
Fantastic.
say. Thank you.
All right. Thank you.
Thanks for tuning in. If you enjoyed this episode, subscribe on YouTube, Instagram, or your favorite podcast app. Catch past episodes and more at techdogs.com. See you next time.